Hello and welcome to Marvel Character Talk. Today we're going to look at three cool, amazing Spider-Mans from 1966. Notable because it's the first appearance of the Rhino. They brought back John Jameson. And more importantly, even though you don't see it in the cover, but we'll take a quick look inside some of these. The introduction of Mary Jane. They just got done with the Green Goblin two-parter that... Peter Parker and Norman Osborn know who each other, and this is Stan Lee and John Romita, brand new, the last couple of issues, and it's going to be his first villain that he made new for Spider-Man. And then Rhino would go on to fight the Hulk also a lot. Let's take a look at the covers, and then we'll take a little bit look inside. Very cool. I love this cover. These are all Spec worthy because of these characters and so forth. You can see them, and even in this mid-grade or less condition or whatever you would call these, still worth a bit loose. And then if you get them slabbed, look at how cool he is. Always love this cover. And then the reason they're together like this, because in the story it overlaps with John Jameson, so they kind of take a break from the Rhino, and then it goes like that in 43. I don't know why they did that, but that's what they did, to make a longer story arc. And like I said, we're going to see Mary Jane in there too. Of course, John Jameson, I think in 124 issue, in like 73, he'd become the Man-Wolf. And here we go. Round 2 with the Rhino. Oh yeah, so this one is basically introduces the Rhino. Why this one's special? Has a cameo of Mary Jane. She shows Mary Jane, and then this has the origin of the Rhino, because they didn't give it in this one. We'll just take a quick look here. Very cool, almost like a pinup. There's the credits. The year, 66. I sometimes go through issues page by page, but this is a threefer, so can't be that long. Oh yeah, and this one, they're starting to change Peter Parker's hard luck life. So he gets a motorcycle. There's Flash and Flash and Gwen Stacy. There's Anna Watson, who's going to keep talking about introducing Mary Jane. See, they mention her here. And here, they even say, ooh, look at that. She's coming along. Take a look here. Yeah, he fights the Rhino finally to a standstill. Really good issue. That one I don't like. Later on, he'd go to see how it has a lot less lines on Spider-Man's face. That was too many lines. Almost looks like how a kid would do it. Doesn't look good, so they reduced the number of lines on his mask. Yeah, so lots of action, and all throughout. Stomp, stomp, when he's running around. Very strong. So this has Jameson and his son. Also in this one, Peter Parker, because they want to close off the earlier Ditko years, getting rid of Betty Brant, and finds that, he doesn't love her anymore. I realize now, nothing in common, and she's going to go over with Ned Leeds. Way later in the 80s, I think Ned Leeds was either the or part of the Hobgoblin. I think they had different people, or if he was set up, I don't remember exact thing. This one, they have the flashback all the way to issue number 1, where John Jameson was there and Spidey saved him from the capsule having a problem. Cool ad with the Thor annual and then their reprints. Jameson going on and on how he doesn't like Spider-Man. Here he is getting the bike. This one, so basically these space spores are attacking John Jameson, that's why he's acting strange. He gets some strength and he's going to fight. We'll look through that, but look at the back pages again, the letters page. And they're going to first be on TV with that show. There it is, there it is. Let's get to that. Introducing her, saying he wants to get this over with. Like to meet you. You mean that's Mary Jane? Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot. That's one of the most reproduced panels for non-hero or villain characters, in at least for Marvel Comics. So we'll see her here. I'll take a flip. So it's basically a story with John Jameson, because he's under influence of that cool ad, the Space Ghost, and all the CBS things, because this is going to be coming out in time for advertising what was coming on in September. So it's basically one of those fights where it's not really a villain and it's a misunderstanding and he's got powers and he's not in his right mind. A little bit more with the Rhino where he's going to break out. So Rhino was just partially in this one. Okay, let's get to number 43. Rhino on the Rampage. This one still had Foswell, who was the big man, who was a reporter for Jameson. Yeah, so this picks up where that one leaves off. Look at him staring. Well, look at her. She's up. This is Stan Lee's writing for young folk, even though he's only in his 40s. He's a World War II guy. So, PDO, you're right from Groovesville. So, in the letters page, people wanted them to dress younger and act more and talk more of what was going on in the time. So they tried to do that. Rhino. Look at, he's got a ride. So far, I only read 41, so I gotta read these, and I didn't look at these yet, so it'll be surprise me. So it's gonna show his origin. Yeah, so these are very cool issues. Look at his face. I liked it in the 80s where he teamed up and was part of the Sinister Syndicate with the Beetle and Boomerang, Speed Demon. And who was the fifth one? They had two covers in a row that were very cool. Always like the floating head covers. So another big battle with the Rhino. Look at him, he gets him caught in there. Comes and rips right out. Hey, so she's taking right over. She's going to be a mainstay, Mary Jane. I believe Rhino's next appearance, he didn't appear in Spider-Man again until way later. His next appearance would be when they changed the Hulk over from Tales to Astonish. I think number 104 of the Hulk. And then he'd fight the Hulk several times. Once he was teamed up with the Abomination. That's cool. The Impossibles. Frankenstein Jr. So they had cool Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Lots of MJ. Jameson. So he's recovering. John Jameson. And look, because the next issue is going to be the Lizard, which they haven't seen since issue number 6. So here's Dr. Connors. So they're setting that up for the next story. Rhino's still running around. Stomp. That webbing. On the cartoon that would come out in the following year for Spider-Man, Rhino was in a couple of those. That's the one with that famous theme song for Spider-Man. Spider-Man does what a spider can. Look at him. It's starting to melt his original costume a bit. Look at that. There's a big, strong sign. He's getting better. Or that. It's going to be worried about Aunt May's. Always worried about it. Aunt May. The lizard crawls again. Mary Jane. Cool advertisements. Still not the Stanley soapbox that is coming up in a few more issues, I believe. All the bullpen bulletins. The issues that were on sale at them, they're already up to 57. That was a cool cover with Dr. Doom Goes Nuts. And he's riding around on Silver Surfer's surfboard. Letters pages. Alrighty, so that's a cool look through 3 issues, key issues, introducing new characters back in the Silver Age of Marvel Comics. More Marvel character talk to come. Thanks for liking and subscribing.